Hi everyone, this is Gail from Gail's Upstairs Studio. As you can tell, this is quite the departure from my normal videos because you can hear my voice. I decided to do it this way this time because of what's in this box. As of the recording of this video is 2 days after Christmas, and I have to say, I got spoiled with art supplies this year. This box is full of goodies, and I wanted to share them with you. I'm going to set it over to the side and I'll show you one by one. This first gift is a pencil case from my daughter-in-law. On the front it says, "Be young, be unique, special, you are one in a million." There's a pocket, and it's a canvas material. And when you open it, there is a pocket on this side, zippered with mesh material. And a pencil and brush caddy here with a pocket underneath made of the same mesh material. When you flip it over, there's a compartment in the back. You can hold pencils or paintbrushes or whatever you want. It does have a gusset on the outside, which I've already unzipped, that makes the inside compartment expandable so you can fit more in it. And coincidentally, this past fall, I bought, sorry about that, this watercolor palette from Magello Mission Gold Paints. And it's a 12 half-pan watercolor palette. And it dawned on me today that it would fit perfectly in this pouch with a couple of water brushes and maybe some small watercolor paper and whatever else I needed. And I carry a large handbag pretty much everywhere I go. And this way I can fill this up and put it right in my handbag and have it with me if I'm waiting in the car or whatever I'm doing. So that's wonderful. Took this back out so I don't forget where it is for the moment. That's gift number one. That was from my daughter-in-law, if I didn't say. And the same fabulous daughter-in-law got me this small bag as well. It's got a pocket on the front, but it's much bigger than it looks on the outside. So when you unzip this flap, it opens up wide. And it's quite deep actually, and there's no pockets or compartments in it, so it's nice and roomy and quite deep. It's from Five Below. And there's two ways to carry it. You can carry it satchel style, and I haven't undone this yet, but this strap, well, I'll undo it right now. It has a shoulder strap, and it is adjustable, so you can wear it as a shoulder bag or a crossbody bag. I love it very much, and I thank her very much. I love her. She's a great daughter-in-law. At my daughter's house every year, we exchange names, and instead of exchanging names to gift big presents or giving presents to everyone, we exchanged names to fill stockings. And my son-in-law got my name this year. And he did have a little help from my daughter, but he did a great job. In fact, he did such a good job that there wasn't room enough in the stocking for all of the things. So I thank him very much. The first thing in my stocking was a set of water brushes, which I use when I am out and about. I do craft fairs through the year, and I have an art bag that I take with me for when it's slow, and water brushes are great for that, so that you don't have to pack water cups if you want to do watercolor, so it's wonderful. And there's some standard round tips here, which I've used before, but this set has some flat tips, which I've never used before with a water brush, so that's great. I can't wait to play around with those. Next, pardon my voice. Next is a pad of watercolor postcards by Strathmore. And it is just what it sounds like. It's watercolor paper. So you can paint something on the front. And it's pre-printed postcard on the back. This next thing, I actually have been going to get myself for a while, and I don't think they knew that I wanted one. I researched it a lot, and there's a lot of different choices. And I actually had decided that this is the one I wanted, and it was in my stocking. I don't know how they knew I wanted it. It's a Porcelain Studio palette, and it's 18 wells here. I will be using it for watercolor. Big mixing space here. But the nice thing is, if I don't keep watercolor in these wells, which I don't know if I will or not, it also has a space on the back that's all gridded out. And I like that because how I usually do watercolor is I will build myself a color story first, so that I can't always, when I'm working on a composition, I might not be able to do it all in one sitting because of time restraints or whatever. So I mix a lot of my colors before I start, so I know what I'm going to be working with. And this allows me to mix my colors, and if I'm painting, say, a composition with roses and leaves, if I have to leave it for any amount of time, I can come back and continue work on a leaf and know that I'm using the same exact color that I had already mixed. So that's going to be very handy. I'm very excited to start using this one. As you've noticed on my channel, I don't necessarily just stick to one medium. I worked in acrylics for years. Watercolor is something that I started learning last winter, so it's been about a year. But I still very much enjoy using acrylics. However, I never really had a professional acrylic paint set. I always used craft acrylics. And now I can start playing around something a little more professional because I have a set of Winsor & Newton Galleria acrylic paints. I'm really excited to play around with these. As a matter of fact, I might have to break them out after I finish this video. I'm excited about that. Because I've started working with watercolors, it becomes a little more important to learn and to be knowledgeable of color theory. I never really thought much about that when I was working in mostly craft acrylics, because there are so many convenience colors out there that if you want a color, you can usually find it. With watercolors, you can get a lot better results sometimes if you mix your own colors, which means it's good to know a little bit about color theory. So I've been learning that, and these next two items are going to help with that. There's 2 color wheels and in this package, and so I'm going to leave one in my art desk and put the other one in my art bag, so that's very handy. And this book is wonderful. It's 1500 Color Mixing Recipes by William F. Powell. And it's for oil, acrylic, and watercolor, and each medium has a section in here. And it's just exactly what it says. It's recipes to make different colors. And it basically gives you the different colors and the different percentages of the different colors that you need to make this color. It's a wonderful reference. And it's another thing that I've been building is a resource library of different art things. And this is a very, very good addition to that. This next gift is from my daughter. And she is very crafty, arty, and talented, and she comes by it naturally. We're from a family like that. My grandmother, my mother, both of my sisters, and myself, we've always been crafty, and she does a little bit of everything. She's an avid sewer, and she's tried her hand at acrylics and in watercolor too, and she's great at both of those. And she just purchased a Cricut Maker about a month ago, and she's been having fun experimenting with that. And she made this for me, and I love everything I've gotten, but this one might be the favorite one in the lot. She made this cup for me, and it says, "Not paint water." And the reason that that's great is because with watercolor specifically, you have to rinse your brushes out a lot. And if you are like me and drink coffee or tea or like to have another beverage beside you while you're painting, you have to make sure that cup that you're drinking from is way out of the way from the cup that you're rinsing your brushes in, because you don't want to put a brush with paint on it and rinse it out accidentally in your beverage cup. So this is great. And not only does it say it on the front, but it's covered. And I've seen this printed on cups before, but she did it on her Cricut. And because she was able to make it on her Cricut, she also was able to customize it. And on the back, and I don't know if the phone is showing this because of the glare, but it says Gail's Upstairs Studio, and there's 2 paintbrushes and some paint puddles on the back. As you know, in my videos, you almost always see a coffee cup. I have coffee with me at all stages of my day. So this you will see a lot, and I love it, and I thank her for it. One more gift that came in my stocking that I forgot to show you is 2 packages of long-handled brushes. And these are great. They're fun. They're the Fine Touch brush sets from, I believe, Hobby Lobby. They're all-purpose. They're for use with oil, watercolor, acrylic, and tempera. And this is great because I do different mediums, and I'm in quite an exploratory phase right now, so I never know what I'm going to be painting with. So this is great. So thank you to my son-in-law. He did a wonderful job. I think I'll keep him. This next gift is from my son. My son has been an avid reader since he was a little boy. And if he has a gift he is getting for somebody, most generally it's a book. This is an excellent one. It's called Floriography, an illustrated guide to the Victorian language of flowers by, I'm afraid I'm going to butcher her last name, I apologize, Jessica Rowe. It is a gorgeous book from cover to cover. It's all flowers, some that most people would recognize, some that you might not recognize. They're really, really nice, beautiful pictures. But each flower has a meaning, an origin, and a little section at the bottom saying what you can pair these with in a bouquet if you want to give a bouquet that has a certain meaning. It's gorgeous. My son is also the brains behind this YouTube channel. It was his idea, his suggestion, and his prompting that got me started on YouTube. I'd be lying if I said I didn't come into this kicking and screaming, but when he's right, he's right. And I'm enjoying this very much, and I appreciate all of his help. He edits my videos, and he has been very supportive through this whole thing, and I love him for it. These last 2 things that I have in my box are things that I purchased with a gift card that was given to me by my mother-in-law for Christmas to Michael's. I want to thank her very much. She's always been very supportive too. And if you're watching this, dear mother-in-law, you will see what I chose. This first thing is something I've had before, but I've gone through it and I wanted to get another one. It's a Strathmore watercolor journal, and it's 48 pages. It's not 100% cotton, but what it does have is 140 pound, 300 GSM paper in it. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's nice and thick. And it holds watercolor very well, but it also holds pen work, and you can do acrylic and gouache in it too. So it's very versatile, and I liked it so much I wanted to get another one. This last one was one that I found, and it intrigued me. It might not be new, but it's new to me. It is called Inkbrush, and it's from Sennelier, which is a company I'm familiar with through watercolor. I don't have any of their watercolors, but they have a very good reputation. It might look familiar to you from earlier in the video because it's the same concept as these water brushes. These water brushes you fill with water, but these are pre-filled with ink. It says blendable, water-soluble, permanent when dry, and pigment-based ink. And they intrigued me because another thing that I do is lettering, and brush lettering mostly. I do use a nib pen also, but I am familiar with ink, but I'm not familiar with these. So I believe I'm probably going to do a separate video experimenting with these and see what I can come up with. And I don't know, they just intrigued me. So we'll see what happens with those. But I want to thank everybody that gifted me with these things. I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by people who support me in this venture and any other venture I happen to be on. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. And if you didn't, I hope 2023 treats you a lot better. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.